out of all of the Call of Duty Zombies games, which one to you is the most forgettable? Is it Advanced Warfare? Infinite Warfare? I guarantee most people would think it'd be a zombies game that wasn't made by Treyarch, but I would argue it was one of Treyarch's that was the most forgettable. And for that reason, because it was a Treyarch zombies game, but a lot of people don't know that. And why this is more forgettable than, like I said, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, is because it's so recent, and that's Vanguard Zombies. I haven't touched this game since its final map released back in August of 2022, over a year ago now, which was the Archon. Pretty much 1 week after that map released, that was it. I was done. I deleted the game and I never touched it again up until I had to make this video, so I re-downloaded it to play it again, which was good because it reminded me of what I didn't miss, and I also got a chance to check out if anyone was even playing this game anymore, and it truly made me realise why this game failed, why it is arguably the worst zombies to date. So I went to play each and every map again. Before this, I was wondering, well, what is the player count on Vanguard anymore? Unlike the older Call of Duties, on console it doesn't have the player count like we used to get on Black Ops 1 or BO2. But if you look on these Steam charts, you can see what the player count is on PC. And well, it's not great. I'd imagine it was higher at one time, but even still, this is not an old game. There are a lot older CODs that have a much higher player count than this, but at the moment it averages at 200 players. That's for PC. On console, I couldn't tell you, but what I can say for zombies is going to search for a game right now, yeah, good luck. I never found a game for the Archon or Shinonuma. I did find one for Duran Fang after about 15 minutes of searching. I got matched with one other player, but considering you can go back and play 13-year-old games in Black Ops 1 and join a zombies match with other players relatively quickly, it might take 5 or 10 minutes of searching. The same with BO2, there are more players on BO3 as you'd expect, but this is a new game. It is our latest COD Zombies iteration, and it's completely dead. And I'm not surprised, to be honest. This game was dead out of the water, and I hate to say it, but that was because of Treyarch. The changes that they did to the very first map on this game, Duran Fang, instead of creating a round-based map, giving us this weird, and I don't even know how to describe it because it's not round-based, but it's a round-based style map in terms of it being small, but it includes objective-based modes and different areas, but it's nowhere near on the scale of Outbreak. It almost feels like Treyarch didn't know what they wanted to do with Vanguard Zombies. It feels like they wanted to experiment, but they didn't fully go for it. They went halfway and then stopped before they ended up backtracking. The start of Vanguard Zombies was just really weird. There are currently 2 different player bases for COD Zombies, round-based and Outbreak, and this didn't appease either side. And I know because I remember this argument, there were people that said, well, Treyarch didn't have enough time to create a round-based map, or Treyarch didn't fully have time to create what they envisioned for Duran Fang, which might be true for the latter, but it would have been miles easier for Treyarch to just turn Duran Fang into a round-based map, instead of having to create all of these brand new game modes for it and all of these different areas. All them turning Duran Fang into a round-based map would have entailed was simply adding rounds. Instead of spending time creating new game modes, additional areas, it would have been so much simpler for them to turn Duran Fang into a round-based map. So the excuse of them not having time to do that just isn't valid. They'd say that themselves, because what we actually got takes more time to make, and that's even more evident later on because we actually ended up getting round-based zombies in Vanguard. So Treyarch themselves ruined this game from the start. In my opinion, Duran Fang should have just been a round-based map, but it wasn't. We got this and the game was dead before it began. I will say though, even then, the map itself wasn't good enough. All of the gripes that people had with the game prior, Cold War Zombies, were still there. It lacked Easter eggs, an in-depth storyline. There was really nothing new here, but because of that, it did leave a lot of room for Treyarch to improve. Surely you would have thought they could have only gone upwards from here. If you start off low, there's not much room to drop any further. 99% of the time you can only go up, but boy, were people wrong, because the next map we got was Terra Maledicta. All of the problems that people had with Duran Fang returned, but in my opinion, it was worse. They once again stuck with the same objective style mode that we had in Duran Fang that people didn't like. I don't know about you guys, but I preferred Duran Fang's map, although there's not much difference between the two. The colour scheme, the atmosphere of Terra Maledicta just wasn't there for me. I do know some people preferred it. The deeper mechanics of Vanguard was also an issue. Some features that people know and love in COD Zombies, Treyarch changed for no specific reason, the main one being the perks. For me, year on year that we'd had zombies from Treyarch, from World at War, then to BO1 to BO2, then to BO3, and then to BO4 and especially Cold War. Okay, perhaps not BO4, but for the most part, Treyarch improved on the perk system, Cold War having the best one to date. And then when Vanguard released, they totally cut Cold War's perk system, created a brand new one, which was confusing because it's not better, in fact it's worse. Worse than the original perk system, which is an extremely simple form of them. You buy the perk, drink it, get its ability, and that's it. What made Cold War's perks good was you could upgrade those perk abilities, but in Vanguard, they weren't known as perks or perk-a-colas, they were known as demonic fountains and featured a 4-tier upgrade system. So every time you purchased the perk, it increased in its ability, it got better. If you haven't played the game, then you might think, well, isn't that better if you're getting more options to upgrade? But no, after playing it just a couple of times, it gets extremely boring having to buy the same perk repeatedly when, like I mentioned, Cold War system where you just upgrade it in the menu and then buy it once in game was a million times better. For them to oddly change it, like a lot of things in this game, made no sense. There was so much more wrong with Terra Maledicta, but Treyarch did improve with their next map, which was Shi No Numa, and why it was such a big improvement was it was because they listened to the community and they returned back to what Zombies was, which was round-based. Shi No Numa was a map that we knew and loved, so Treyarch really couldn't go wrong with it. There is the argument that, well, the only reason we actually had Shi No Numa was because part of it was in the game anyway from the maps before this, when you could teleport to a portion of it, so it was pretty simple for them to do. But nevertheless, I'll be honest, I was quite happy because I don't ever want a Treyarch Zombies game to fail. I love this mode, I've been playing it since 2008. I wanted it to be good. I'd take what I could get. It's probably my most played map. That doesn't say much, I didn't play it an awful lot. But at the same time, because it is Shi No Numa and we've had God knows how many iterations of it, I have played it 1,000 times prior, so it didn't really feel like anything new or exciting. After the first couple of days when they gave us the trailer, I was like, oh, Shi No Numa, I can't wait to play this. And then I was on it, I was like, I've played this so much before. This doesn't really feel like anything new. Although I did like the version that we had in Vanguard, the new area that they gave us was cool, but it feels like it was forgotten about so quickly. This map had a main Easter egg. For a Vanguard Easter egg, it was okay, but for what it was overall in the Call of Duty universe, it was rubbish. The boss fight, if you want to call it that, was crap. The ending cutscene, terrible. Besides from the map itself, Shi No Numa, and it being round-based, which is the basics of Call of Duty Zombies, this wasn't brilliant. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was nothing we hadn't seen before, but I'd take it. And one thing I have always said is, if Shi No Numa was the first map we got on Vanguard instead of Fang, it could have been a totally different story. People wouldn't have lost interest straight away, and if we had this as the first map, maybe Treyarch would have stuck with round-based maps all throughout this game's life, and who knows what could have been. But that wasn't the case, and like I said, I feel like the hype for this died down really quickly as soon as the Easter egg was solved. After about, I don't know, not even a week, there wasn't much interest in this, and so it was all left to the final map, which was the Archon. You might be thinking, Eli, haven't you just shown this? This is Terra Maledicta. Where's the Archon? And the Archon is Terra Maledicta. It's the exact same map, just with a different colour scheme. The main difference being it has a main Easter egg and a boss battle. And that was really the coolest thing about it. Forget the map, forget all of the Easter egg steps, the storyline. The only real relevant thing about the Archon was the boss fight, which, for Vanguard, was actually pretty cool. Seeing this huge court effects that you have to fight in the Dark Ether was, I'll be honest, epic. The boss fight itself, I don't think was great. It could be frustrating, and the cutscene was, yeah, the ending was, the ending's awful after you kill him. What ending? I'm really trying hard here. I'm trying to think of some good things about Vanguard Zombies, and that sums this game up as a whole. It was just bad. I'd probably expect this from Sledgehammer or Infinity Ward, but this was a Treyarch Zombies experience. Yes, there was so many problems they had to put up with, the biggest one being time restraints, but I do feel, as we saw along the way, there were things that they could have done better. There are a lot of things that weren't in their control, and it was never going to be amazing. Knowing all of that, it was probably always destined to be the worst Zombies mode, but I still think it could have been a little bit better. Would that have made any difference in the long term though? Probably not. Vanguard Zombies is the worst Zombies ever. But maybe you guys disagree. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed the video today. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.